They are a breakfast staple, but having a few eggs a week could save your sight. Sydney researchers have found the food protects against macular degeneration, the leading cause of legal blindness in Australia, currently without a cure.
But eating more eggs has been found to be protective.
This is one of the first studies to look at this link.
They collected data on more than 2,000 participants over a 15-year period, those who consume 2 to 4 eggs each week. Patricia Fellows was diagnosed with age-related macular degeneration in her 70s, but she had no symptoms.
No, I wasn't aware of anything, which is frightening when you think about it.
What if I told you the food saving your wallet might be sitting in the same aisle where others are quietly draining it? Most lists of essentials push trendy superfoods, but they often leave you with less money and no real health payoff. Today, we expose the overlooked basics, like a protein powerhouse you probably walk past every week.
So what is Greek yogurt anyway? This is a type of yogurt that has been filtered to remove excess water and then strained, again, to remove a little bit more water. And so through that process, what you come out with is a really creamy, tangy in its plain form, delicious texture of yogurt that's thick, low in calories, because that thick texture really gives you that feeling of fat without all the fat. Some of the whey and also some of the lactose that's the natural sugar found in milk.
That actually keep your body strong as you age without gutting your grocery budget. Stick around, because the first item on this list might surprise you with just how much you're losing if you skip it. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video.
Lots of protein. So since Greek yogurt has come into popularity, there are lots of people that want to do what I call a quick and easy version of Greek yogurt. So just something to be aware of. It doesn't make it any better or worse necessarily, but if you're looking for that traditional strained Greek yogurt, you do want to make sure that it doesn't have any gelatin. And this version is one where they don't go through the straining process. So there is still a filtration process to remove some of the excess water, but then they add thickening agents like cornstarch and gelatin. You'll see those on the ingredients.
Here's the trap. People fill carts with $20 tubs of protein powder or grab salmon with a premium label, thinking they're buying the best fuel for their body. But the truth is, the cheapest items sitting quietly on the shelf often pack more nutrition for less money. They just don't come with shiny labels or buzzwords. Let's start with eggs. Prices shot up in recent years, leaving plenty of shoppers wondering if they're still worth it. That doubt makes sense for seniors working off fixed budgets, when every extra dollar counts. But here's the uncomfortable math. One egg gives you about 6 grams of complete protein with all 9 amino acids, plus weeks of fridge life compared to the fragile greens you toss out. You still end up paying less per gram of protein than steak. That's muscle maintenance and brain support in a shell, ironic as it sounds. Now take a look at Greek yogurt. Not the sugar-loaded cups that pretend to be dessert, but the plain tubs. Those give you double the protein of regular yogurt, around 15 to 20 grams in one serving, with calcium and probiotics stacked on top. That means stronger bones, steadier blood sugar, and support for the gut, all while keeping the immune system in line. Swap it for the flavored version and you trade protein for sugar. That's health turned upside down.
And a new warning this morning about a canned fish.
Nutritionists often recommend 2 to 3 servings of fish a week, and canned tuna is really a popular choice.
It's cheap, convenient, full of protein and omega-3 fatty acids, and it's a classic staple in a lot of lunches. It's canned tuna. But the nutritional powerhouse from the sea comes with a warning.
Tuna, just like other fish, can contain mercury, and if you eat a lot of fish, you can expose yourself to this potentially dangerous heavy metal.
Well, you know, if you're like a lot of people, you probably have canned tuna in your pantry. And unless you're pregnant, you don't need to stop eating tuna, but you may want to cut back. The problem is mercury. Tests show that there is mercury in a lot of tuna, and that can cause serious health issues.
And then there's canned tuna. Shelf-stable and ready whenever you are, a single can hands you over 20 grams of lean protein, with omega-3s protecting the heart and brain. It doesn't spoil if you forget about it at the back of the fridge. It doesn't trick you like overpriced seafood displays. The simple math. Protein, low-cost, real staying power. The real kicker? Skip these quiet staples and you wind up spending more on trendy fixes that actually give you less. Now let's move on to the cheap plants and frozen bags that may secretly beat the produce aisle. Most shoppers walk straight past the freezer aisle, assuming it's where food goes to lose flavor and quality. The truth is, what sits in the bright produce section often spends days or weeks shrinking under grocery lights. By the time you bring home that so-called fresh broccoli, it's already shedding vitamins. Those frozen bags? The vegetables were harvested and sealed while still at peak, their nutrients caught and kept. It's a case of limp bunches on display versus crisp stalks locked in cold storage. Now let's paint the picture. You buy a bundle of fresh broccoli 1 week, it starts to yellow, the leaves curl, and half of it ends up in the trash. Compare that with a frozen mix, pulled from your freezer months later, still bright, still nutrient-rich. That 5-pound bag sold at a bulk store for under $10 keeps filling plates for weeks. No chopped stems withered in the crisper, no money wasted. But here's the twist. Beans in a can may be even more practical. For less than $1, you open a can that delivers protein, fiber, and lowers cholesterol. They're gut-friendly, inexpensive, and ready to eat without a stove. Where meat comes at a premium, beans outlast and outperform. One can, and you have a meal that's easier for digestion and easier for your wallet.
Beans, the magical fruit. You know the rest, but just how magical are they really? That leads us to tonight's claim. Is it true that adding more beans into your diet can help you live longer? Crockett says beans are loaded with peptides which help the digestive process.
The word peptide, basically broken down, just means digested. So we get our different peptides that our body needs so badly from different foods. One of them happens to be beans. We need that peptide fuel. This is how our body actually regulates itself and rejuvenates itself. So you can stop, slow down, and reverse the aging process, but you have to get it through peptide fuel, which is found in foods.
Add in canned vegetables with reduced sodium, and you have what amounts to a backup plan. Think of it as insurance against spoiled lettuce or sudden price spikes. They sit in your cupboard, steady and reliable, stepping in when the so-called fresh option fails. The bottom line is simple. These convenience foods don't drain quality. They cut waste, cut prep, and keep nutrition close at hand. So what's the final piece missing? The steady fruit and carb heroes that keep both your budget and your body balanced. The food that makes the biggest difference for seniors isn't labeled exotic or hyped as a superfood. It's the basic shelf staples that quietly give strength, protect the heart, and keep costs low. Eggs, canned beans, and frozen vegetables do more for both body and budget than half the premium items crowding grocery displays. The real kicker is that you don't need to spend more to eat better. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets. And if these essentials were hiding in plain sight, what other everyday items are we ignoring?